Old Dads. It's a movie that debuted on Netflix on October 20th, 2023. Here is the official synopsis. 3 best friends become fathers later in life and find themselves battling preschool principals, millennial CEOs, and anything created after 1987. As we like to do here on the Spun Today Podcast, let's shout out the writers first and foremost. Old Dads was written by Bill Burr and Ben Tischler. Shout out to those guys. Of note is that the movie was directed by Bill Burr as well, and it starred the 3 best friends, Bill Burr, Bobby Cannavale, and Bokeem Woodbine. Also of note is that it was produced by All Things Comedy, which is Bill Burr's production company, co-founded by Bill Burr and Al Madrigal. And tying to what we were speaking about earlier, with the biases of the producer or producers of a movie coming out through the movie, this being produced by All Things Comedy and Bill Burr writing it and directing it highlights that point perfectly, in my opinion. Because if you're familiar with Bill Burr's stand-up comedy or his podcast and his personality in general, you see a lot of it in this film. And that's obviously his point of view, his movie. He wrote it, he directed it, he produced it. Of course, you're going to get that. You know what I mean? That should not come as a surprise. But I was really happy with this movie. I thought it was a masterclass in just social commentary in all that's wrong with social virtue signaling and what we prioritize to speak about and be quote unquote angry about, or signal to other folks, hey, this is what I'm angry about now, to get social brownie points or whatever the fuck it is. I thought this movie was a masterclass in that. It was funny, it was engaging, certain frustrations that I as a father deal with. I saw a bit of myself in some of the characters in the movie. There's a scene in the beginning where Bobby Cannavale's kid, which is just that they're at a birthday party, and there's a bunch of kids around and parents, and everybody just doing their own thing, barbecue in the backyard, and one of the kids, which is Bobby Cannavale's kid, is just running around, hitting people with sticks, throwing shit, just being that asshole kid at the party. And then he has his mom, Bobby Cannavale's wife, which is the type of mom that, thinks that their kid can do no wrong. Meanwhile, this 5-year-old, 6-year-old, whatever he is literally grabbing a branch from a tree and smacking people across the face with it, across the head with it, and just screaming at the top of his lungs and just acting the fuck out. But the mom is, thinks he can't do any wrong and is making excuses for him. Oh, he's just expressing himself. What's wrong with expressing yourself? Is he not allowed to express himself? Is he supposed to suppress his feelings, etc., etc.? And it's all right, lady, relax. I get it, but at the same time, check your kid. That's not normal behavior. And yeah, there's a scene where the kid winds up hurting Bill Burr's kid, pushing him or something. He scrapes his knee, and then Bill Burr, doesn't want to baby his kid. He's like, rub some dirt in it, you'll be okay. And then sees that Bobby Cannavale can't even stand up to his own wife, although he agrees with Bill Burr that his kid is just wigging the fuck out. And what Bill Burr does is he waits until nobody's looking, the kid is passing by, and he just trips the kid. I thought that was definitely hilarious and something I've wanted to do. In that scene also, there's a cameo by Rick Glassman, which lives across the street, and it's a hilarious exchange between him and Bill Burr, and he tells him, he shouldn't rub dirt in it, he should put some Neosporin in it or something like that. And Bill Burr's like, yeah, who the fuck are you? What are you, a doctor or something? He was like, no, it's just common sense. You want to keep a cut clean and dry or whatever. And in true Bill Burr fashion, just lets his anger out on him type of thing and tells him to fuck off and mind his business. And that was a dope thing also about the movie, is that there was a bunch of cameos with a bunch of comics, which I like to see. I love that in the Machine movie and in these bigger productions that these comics are coming out with. Rick Glassman is in it. As I mentioned, they showed a mural that's in LA of Brody Stevens, R.I.P. to Brody. Paul Verzi is in it. There's a couple scenes in a strip club, which were funny. Natasha Leggero is in it. She plays one of these uber progressive moms in the PTA. Rory Scovel is in it, another comic. It's really funny, really good. And basically, in the movie, Bill Burr and his friends, they have this company that they started. They're making good money, but they made the decision to sell it. And they wind up selling it to this new agey type of tech startup-ish type of company. Meanwhile, the company that they built is a company that makes throwback jerseys or something like that, and some other apparel. And it shows really well this cultural, stylistic difference between this new agey corporate BS, or not BS rather, but mentality versus a more old school, blue collarish type of approach to running a business. But there is a lot of new agey corporate BS buzzwords and stuff like that when this CEO millennial kid is speaking to Bill Burr and Bobby Cannavale and Bokeem Woodbine's character, pretty much telling them that if they don't get with the new program and stuff like that, that they would be let go because they sold the company, but they stayed on as founders. And Bill Burr, with his charming anger, just tells them, "Are you threatening me?" And then the new agey corporate CEO guy just tells him, "No, it's just transparent leadership." And he has a bunch of these flowery buzzword terms to relabel what he's really saying. It's just a bunch of funny exchanges with him throughout the movie as well. Another hilarious scene is the dude that played Big Head in Silicon Valley. He's Natasha Leggero's husband, and they're in this PTA meeting type of thing, and it's them two and Bill Burr and Bobby Cannavale, because their kids all go to the same school, and a couple other people. And he interrupts Bill Burr because he's saying that he is using too much of his white privilege or something like that, and making decisions or offering opinions that come from a white privileged point of view, and that he feels triggered by it. Meanwhile, the guy's white. And Bill Burr's, "Wait a second, aren't you white?" He looks at Bobby Cannavale and he's like, "Ain't that a white guy?" So it's just a moment sad that's fucking hilarious. And then Big Ed's character he says something to the effect of, "Excuse me, I did my 23andMe and I am 1,000% Native American," or some shit like that. "And that percentage of me is triggered by you offering to blah, 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 blah." It was just a really funny exchange, which ties back again to me saying that this is a masterclass social commentary and all that type of virtue signaling, being angry about shit that doesn't really matter, acting like you're mad about shit that you're not really mad about, but you think it's the cool thing to be upset about and to highlight, to signal about. And yeah, it was just a funny, entertaining watch. Again, written and produced and directed by a comic who makes funny for a living. You know what I mean? So I love seeing that, and I definitely want to see more of it. Shout out once again to Bill Burr and All Things Comedy. Oh, and also the lovely Nia, who made an appearance. She had a cameo as I don't think it's a cameo technically. She was the nurse that delivered Bill Burr's baby for Nia. For those of you who don't know, is Bill Burr's wife in real life, and that was pretty cool to see as well. Old Dads, definitely worth a watch. I highly recommend it. It is available now on Netflix.